Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This video is part of a series of videos on mushrooms and magic mushrooms. Please leave your questions in the comments and please subscribe to watch more videos like this. This video specific is going to be about macrodosing, hero's journey, a huge amount of mushrooms and what are the side effects, who should do it, who should not do it, etc. So here we go, macrodoses. Macrodoses of magic mushrooms are also known as hero doses. Everybody's life is a hero journey. You start with ordinary, the call to adventure, meeting the mentor, crossing, having tests, and then you have this circle, the hero's journey. And that's kind of like all of our lives. So they've applied this term to mushrooms. And what is a hero's journey? A hero's journey is eating 5 grams or more of dried magic mushrooms. So I want to just clarify, in the previous video, I said a microdose is 300 milligrams or less, or maybe 500 milligrams on a social dose. So what is between a gram and 5 grams? Anything over a gram is going to be a macrodose. It's a large dose of mushrooms, and people do them casually. If you get really comfortable, you can start dabbling with eating larger doses. They're not going to be macrodoses. They're also not going to be a hero's journey. They're just going to be large doses of mushrooms that you can eat safely with your friends, but I honestly wouldn't recommend to eat a gram of mushrooms without a specialist around or a guide or a professional. So if you are ready, you can do a hero's dose. A hero's dose is 5 grams or more of dry mushrooms. They are in a set and setting with a professional, a specific music, and a specific everything to induce a transformative, magical, miraculous, spiritual experience. It's literally life-changing. A couple of years ago, when I got divorced, I self-induced a hero's journey. That's a horrible idea. Do not do that. Do not do a hero's journey by yourself. But I did it, and it changed my life. And since then, everything has been amazing. So the name is Hero's Journey because it's kind of like you have to be heroic. You need to have courage to go and swim in the depth of your unconscious. What's the depth of your unconscious? So a house. You can clean your house every week. You can go to the therapist. You can talk to your friends. You can think that everything is going great for you. But, you know, then like you clean your house, there's dirt goes under the couch and the rug. How often, you know, when you go like to move and then you have so much crap, you start opening drawers, you have crap, you have like everything. It's like so annoying to move because of all this stuff that is hidden and also dirt. So a hero's journey is like it's like moving houses. It's like doing a deep cleaning in your house even. Like you really go, you open these drawers for these things that's been stored. Because why? Because 95% of all of our behavior and thoughts and emotions, it comes from our unconscious. When you think you are doing something or saying something, it's not coming maybe 5% from your conscious, but most of it is from your unconscious. And what's the unconscious? The unconscious is all the things that you've repressed. So your first breakup, things your mom and your dad said, people who bullied in school, anything. Like for example, something bad happens to you. What do you do when something bad happens? Turn on the TV, go have a drink, eat drugs, go to the gym, go work. Like we repress, we suppress, we escape. Rarely we are actually dealing with our emotions. So as life go by, everything under the rug, in a drawer, and then it gets to a certain point of your life that you're miserable like I was. And you're miserable, and then you get diagnosed with all these things, and then you may be taking some medicine or doing some therapy, but nothing seems to be working because it's all in your unconscious. So how could you possibly like fix it at this level? To go deep, and you have to do something like drastic. Of course, people can change without doing a large psychedelic journey. Of course, good job if that's you. I didn't, and it's great because, you know, psychedelics are great. So yes, I highly recommend. How to do it, when to do it. Well, to do anything above a gram, you need to have like a sitter, like a person that's sober that can be out there. But definitely for a hero's journey, I only recommend, there's clinical trials you can sign up for. There's countries where it's legal. I've done a recent one in Costa Rica. It was very nice. And you want to do it in a very safe place with a professional. These are people who know the music to play. They know what to do. And I just couldn't say this enough. Do not do it unless you're doing with a professional. It's really important. I recommend a retreat because then you get used to it. There's some, they know what they're doing. There's the diet, there's the talking, and then you're in a different environment. It's really, really important that you do it safely because set and setting is real. What is set and setting? Set is like your state of mind at that point in time when you were gonna do it. And set and setting works also for microdoses. But setting is also where you are, who's saying what, who am I, is this safe? So that's why people have bad experiences on mushrooms, because they do it at parties with people they don't know, and the energy and mushrooms, they open up the field and you're getting these energies. It's just a bad idea. Just anything above a very small dose, do it consciously, do it people you love, do always these small doses. And when you feel called, go do a hero's journey at a safe place with a guide. There's many professionals that do it. It's amazing. It's like you may cry, you may laugh, but what's gonna happen on a hero's journey? We call it an ego death, because what's the ego? The ego is the sense of self. It's like, I'm Jessica, I'm from Brazil, I'm cute, I like red meat, and I like Coldplay and the Beatles, and then I have a lot of friends and blah, blah, blah. And I make videos. That's who I think I am, and those are the identities that I've attached to me through my life that is not really who I am. So the ego death is the sense of self, it's gone, it's dissolved. And you really get to a very basic level of the self. You get in tune, in touch with who you really are, and you feel it, and then you feel things much more objective without you in the way. So when people get out of a journey, they are like, oh my God, life is amazing. What? I am so blessed. I love everyone. Why? Or that problem, it's nothing. And then they also report connecting with the spirit. They report loss of fear of death. They report, spiritual experiences. They report just a sense of, for example, my case, when I did it, I was, I recently divorced, and I was taking antidepressants and all of that. And I was super confused. I was only 29, and I was super, super confused. And what am I gonna do with my life? What's going on? And this journey just gave me a sense of knowing everything would be okay, that everything is fine, because you kind of connect with this other reality, and you connect with the spirit. And then I was like, everything is fine. I haven't worried a day since, because it's everything is fine. And when I forget, I go and I do another journey to remember, really, because everything is fine. And when it's this amazing feeling, and obviously it has healing properties. And then when the things I said about neuroplasticity and the default mode network in the previous video, that is 100x, neuroplasticity on steroids. Your brain on a large dose of psychedelics is forming all sorts of different new pathways and connections, and is connecting in a ways that you didn't even imagine that you couldn't connect. And it's just amazing. It's an amazing healing thing, but it's not for everyone. And so to recap, highly recommend. People should definitely deal with their emotions. What's meditation? Meditation is allowing that to come and go. So most people I know, they're not applying the letting go technique. They're not allowing their emotions. They're not sitting there, oh, I had a hard day at work. They're not doing that, right? So that's most of people. So it just cleanses you. It's like a soul cleanse. Highly recommend. Do it a professional. Set and setting, super important. You need courage, but also the benefits are literally insane, literally life-changing. Mushrooms are the baby of the jungle. So a mushroom comparing to ayahuasca, it's 1 in 100. So ayahuasca would be ideal. If you're not sure about ayahuasca, go do mushrooms first. It's much lighter, still amazing. And now we're gonna talk about bad trips and who shouldn't do it. So we're gonna talk about who shouldn't do it first. Who shouldn't do it? Well, there's really no real thing about who shouldn't do it. But to be safe, better safe than sorry. The doctors, they don't like to do it with people with a history of mental disorder in their family, so bipolar, schizophrenia, things like that. They prefer to stay away. So if you have somebody with those things in your family, but that's why going to a good place is important, because they're gonna screen you, right, to see if you can do it or not. And who shouldn't do it? Obviously, pregnant women, all of that. And like if you go to a retreat, they're gonna tell you when you can do it, when you cannot do it. And like I said, it's important you do it like with somebody that knows what they're doing, with a guide, like not any guide, like a guide that that guide knows what they're doing. And bad trips. Bad trips are just like the most common thing when talking about mushroom. Bad trips. What's a bad trip? So you're not gonna have a bad trip in a small dose of mushrooms. You need to eat a significant dose of mushrooms, but how much mushrooms do you need to eat for a bad trip? It depends, but it also depends because the concept of a bad trip could mean anything. People say it was a bad trip. A bad trip is for sure gonna be a bad trip if you eat a huge amount of mushrooms in a party with people you don't know, all sorts of energy, all sorts of spirits there. Of course, it's gonna be a bad trip, but that's on you. But a real bad trip, it's what? Is when you go do that big cleaning of your house and then you see a lot of dirt. It's a bad trip because it's like you never clean your house. You never went to the garage and you never open those boxes. And then when you do it, it's just like, wow, shit's crazy here. So because you're like 40 years old and you never did that, the one day you go do that, of course it's gonna be dirty. It's like if you're doing a big cleaning, you put all the chairs up and you clean and it looks like a mess during that time. So you might scream, you might cry, but you also gonna have a process of catharsis maybe, which is intense crying, intense screaming, intense going to the toilet, like just pee, crying. Like, but that's amazing because you're letting it all out. You're letting it all out, and it might be painful. It might seem like a bad trip, or you're seeing monsters or whatever. But after that, you're gonna feel amazing. You're gonna feel clean. It's like let's say anxiety or anything really that's like eating you in the inside. Every day a little bit. Every day a little bit. Every day something, and then every day a glass of wine, a movie to control. You can't control because it's taking over from the inside. Then you do this thing. You let it all out. You're clean. And then you just don't have anxiety. You don't have ADHD. Oh, miracle, go figure. So I highly recommend. But there's more I could say, so I can make more videos on it. If you guys want to type some questions below, happy to answer. And please subscribe to my channel. I hope you like this video. Thank you.